Jamison Jensen is joining us here with our market analysis this week. Let's talk about corn. We do have some extra bushels out there, hopefully, because yields were good across much of the western corn belt. And so from a profitability standpoint, is that going to make up for some of the lower prices on corn?
You know, it's certainly going to help. What we like to see is if you do throw those bushels in the bin, either on the farm or in town, or even if you have an ag bag out in the field, to have a game plan with that. You know, maybe you didn't market it well this last summer. The last thing you want to do is make your problem worse if prices do kind of slip from here, and then get yourself in kind of a double whammy on what to do. So we like to, you know, maybe if you have half of it sold, let's say, at a decent price, and that means something for gross revenue, and then you kind of figure out what you need to make for gross revenue an acre on the stuff that's on the farm, and kind of put a game plan together. You know, March corn around $3.80, May corn $3.90, July corn at $4. We think those are good sales going forward.
So let's talk about soybeans. Not all of the crop is harvested yet, but we did have a big crop, some record yields in a lot of areas, and a lot of it went into on-farm storage. So what is your advice now in terms of marketing?
There's pockets where production was lower, but for the most part, guys are pretty happy with their yields. The stuff that's still in the field, you know, anybody's guess on how that comes out. But I think at the end of the day, overall, we've got plenty of beans sitting around, either on the farm or at the elevator or at the crush plant. So I don't know that there's real justification for a huge rally at this point. I think you're going to have to kind of pick your spots and be very disciplined.
It is all about the G20 summit at the end of the month. So what do you think? Does the market kind of rally into that on optimism? And if we don't cut a deal, then do we sell off after that? Or what's the scenario?
You know, I think the market is very comfortable knowing whatever it knows now. And I think it's looking for an opportunity to rally with good news and an opportunity to kind of drive it in the dirt with bad news. So you kind of have to be careful. One thing I would caution guys, even if we do get a trade deal figured out here with this G20 summit here in a week or two, rail freight has been historically cheap this time of year. So even if there's more demand, rail freight's going to probably rally with that and maybe eat up a lot of that basis that you think you're going to get. So I would keep that in mind. If you've got beans on the farm, basis has definitely rallied from the harvest lows, maybe 40 cents in some cases. So, and that will put your, you know, a lot of guys can get above $8 cash beans. You add your facilitation payment to that. It makes a lot of sense maybe from a gross revenue standpoint, hopefully with higher production this year.
Thanks so much for joining us. Jamison Jensen with Trade Us here at the Gateway Farm Expo.